You are now listening to Regular Guys Podcast. As the great Thin Lizzy would say, the boys are back in town.
Boys are
Yes,
back in town.
Regular Guys Podcast, back at it again on this glorious Wednesday. Now you're probably listening to this, watching this, saying, "Guys, where you been?" I haven't listened to any other sports podcasts since you guys left. But hey, what matters is we're here now. You know who I am, Matty Ice, your host, joined again with the regular guys. Jake, tell the people what's good, man.
What's up, guys? We're super excited to be back. It's gonna be a nice new show. PJ's here with us, so we're excited to have all three of us, talking football, debating, hopefully, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, man. And as you mentioned, PJ is here. PJ, tell the people what's good.
They say distance makes the heart grow fonder. Not being around people. So you guys must miss us. It's been a minute. Glad to see you. We're looking to grow this thing. We're looking to make you guys happy, entertain you with our thoughts, hear your thoughts too. Welcome in.
Yeah, definitely. We have a jam-packed show. So to begin, we will start with the news out west. John Gruden has resigned as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders after emails and reports have come out of things Mr. Gruden has said in the past. He has decided that it is best to step down. Jake, what does this mean for the Raiders going forward?
They get some cap back. They can get a competent head coach probably to run that offense a little bit better, and probably have someone that's not gonna waste Derek Carr. Because I've said this before, last year and years before, it hasn't been Derek Carr's fault. He's finally starting to prove it. And this year, especially, he started off super hot. So if you can get somebody in there, they're probably going to have the assistant coach, I think, replace him as the head coach right now. But if they do any type of search, or even if they stay with the head coach, it's a new guy coming in. He already knows the team. The guys like him. Guys trust him. So I like it.
Yeah, definitely. And PJ, for the John Gruden standpoint, is this it? I mean, you got to pretty much think this is it. I really don't see anywhere he could go. TV
Yeah, he's dead.
coach.
Yeah, he's dead. Cancel culture is real.
Yeah,
They got the receipts. He's out of there. Like Jake said, it's no longer about him. It's more about the team. So they moved on to a new guy. I'm really curious what it's gonna do for Josh Jacobs. I just picked him up in fantasy right before this news broke. Usually, Gruden was an offensive guy, so it was his offense he installed there. So now you got a new offense coming in. Usually you do rely on the run a little bit more as you're learning the pass scheme and whatnot. So we could see some big things coming from Josh Jacobs, or we could see a very vanilla Raiders team that kind of falls off back to how they were. It's sad all around.
yeah, definitely. We know many of you, including ourselves, kind of thought maybe Urban Meyer would be the first one to go. I mean, hey, it's still kind of left to be seen what happens with that there.
Grind on.
But yeah, it was only right that we stop with the news at the top of the hour as we record this on Monday. Also, too, the Colts are playing the Ravens right now. Yes, I am watching the game as we record, where the Colts are winning against the Ravens. But we will get into the injury front. Obviously, a slate full of games happened on Sunday and Sunday night. So just to start off with the injury front, Joe Burrow, who many of you got alerts that was hurt in the game, looks as he will definitely be playing week 6. Came back, went toe to toe. We'll get into that a little bit further as the show goes on. Trey Lance has a sprained knee. Now, we'll see how this goes. They're on bye week this week. So he's got some time. Him and Jimmy G got some time to come back. Kenny Galladay to miss week 6 with a knee injury. Don't worry, Giants fans. It doesn't stop there. As PJ will be potentially crying at this moment, as Saquon Barkley will miss, it looks like up to 2 to 4 weeks. Different reports have said kind of different things. At first, it was week to week. 2 to 4 weeks. It is a low ankle sprain, so that is good to hear. Matt Rule is hopeful that McCaffrey will return this week against Minnesota. Tua is throwing again with his rib situation. Edwards-Helaire has an MCL sprain. Juju Smith-Schuster has been ruled out for the season. Will have shoulder surgery and will miss the rest of the season. So just a couple ones to kind of keep you guys informed.
Does that mean we're going to be seeing more TikToks from Juju here? That's not good news for anybody.
From the hospital, Corbett. But yeah, just to kind of help you guys in case, hey, you're not getting these alerts, let us allow us to help you with these injury news fronts. So hope for speedy recoveries for these guys. But hey, we are going to get into something as I watch Carson Wentz throw a beautiful dime to Michael Pitt. Goodness gracious. All right. Overreaction Monday. It's exactly what the name says. This can be good. We're going to either hype some teams up a lot, or we're going to sell on a lot of these teams. So we're going to start with PJ. PJ, hit us with your overreaction Monday for this week.
All right, so just as a setup here, right? Overreaction Monday this can't be something that goes on cold takes. This is a wild take that could happen, more than likely can't. My overreaction Monday: Falcons make a charge, at least grabbing a wild card spot. Here's what I have to say about it: the NFC South that looked pretty impenetrable a few weeks ago. Panthers were 3-0. Bucks were storming through the league. Saints dominated Green Bay week 1. Has started to look a little bit shaky. Panthers now, after a 3-0 start, have dropped 2 straight. They're 3-2, including one at home. They look beatable now. The Saints, they're up and down. The Saints are a mixed bag. They're still trying to figure out their identity post Breeze. The Bucks are the Bucks. They're of course a powerhouse. But the Falcons, yes, it was a win against the Jets, but it looks like they're kind of putting together their identity of what they want to do. They want to almost mold themselves. It seems a little bit after the Saints now. They've got Cordell Patterson in the backfield. They're using him in kind of that Alvin Kamara role. They're using Matt Ryan sort of like a late Drew Brees, mostly medium to short passes. Maybe he'll stretch the field a little bit, but using Matty Ice's accuracy more than his arm strength, just like Brees. So it seems like they're kind of they do have the tools now with Patterson when Ridley comes back. Pitts, who we'll talk about a little bit, making his stand. They do have the tools available to kind of run that explosive, quick offense. We could see them string together some wins. NFC, of course, 3 wildcard spots. Wouldn't be surprised if they put something together and grabbed a spot.
I like it. For those of you who watched our Falcons AFC South preview, Jake will remember I told you that the Falcons would beat the Jets, but you never believe me. But Jake, hit the people with your overrated Monday take.
Well, I'm gonna be the first to say, when we were talking about how the season was gonna go on, I said the Chiefs were going to be go undefeated. They were going to be the team to beat. I'm here to apologize for that take. The Chiefs aren't making the playoffs. I think they end up being third in that division. And I think Andy Reid gets fired. I think it's just going to be a really bad situation in Kansas City. Everyone says, well, Mahomes is going to pick it up, this and that. I feel Mahomes has gotten really lucky the last couple seasons with some of the throws he makes. He's very careless with the ball, and this year he's just not getting that luck. So he'll be careless, and it's going to turn into picks. They lead the NFL in turnovers. So that's not a good thing. You can't be a team that goes back to 2 Super Bowls and then lead the NFL in turnovers. So they're playing like a bad team, and it's because you probably are a bad team. If your defense is letting up that many points and Mahomes is turning the ball over, you're not going to do much.
Yeah, I will say I think the offense picks it up, but their defense reminds me of Tennessee. It's just bad. It's really bad. My overreaction Monday take. The Carolina Panthers are frauds. We all jumped on the bandwagon of wanting them to succeed a little bit too early. Sam Darnold is exactly who we thought he was. And again, folks, this is Overreaction Monday. We would love to see the Carolina Panthers succeed, but I get the loss to the Cowboys. It's a little bit different. The offensive firepower, Trayvon Diggs is playing out of his mind at corner and whatnot. But the one that's the head scratcher is the Eagles. This is one where it was a bounce back. You should have had this one. I mean, I don't really know how good the Eagles team is. They show glimpses of kind of being good, but then they go back to being bad. So if you were going to be legit, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And the fact that you couldn't, it's kind of worrisome. And the fact you have the Minnesota Vikings to play next. Now, granted, we'll get into it here in a bit, how the Vikings are kind of looking, but it's still, tough competition. If you were legit, you should have taken care of a team like the Eagles. So that's my overreaction Monday. Our overreaction Monday takes. We'll kind of do this as we record every other Monday. You guys let us know down in the comments, what are some of your takes that you have for Overreaction Monday? Obviously, we love to hear it. Are you all aboard the Chargers train as they go to the Super Bowl, or are you down on a team because they took a loss? But moving into some of the action on Sunday, we saw the Minnesota Vikings barely sneak out a win against the Detroit Lions. PJ, let the people know how you're feeling after the close win.
Yeah, this one was very interesting because it was a win that felt everything like a loss. Um, the Detroit Lions were without two of their starting offensive linemen, including All-Pro center Frank Ragnow, and you have Danielle Hunter. Michael Pierce was out, but you still have Sheldon Richardson, Danielle Hunter, Everson Griffin. You should have made quick work of Jerry Goof. The defense is missing their best edge rusher. Um, of course, it's missing Okuda, up and down, but still their best cornerback. This was a time when Minnesota should feast, drop 30 on them, and coast out of the building. Unfortunately, the game has passed Mike Zimmer by. He's too conservative. He wants to play football like it's 1975. You score 6 points and you hold the opposing team to 3 and you win. It's not realistic. We let teams hang around way too long. If anyone watches the game, it's agonizing watching the play calling. It's terrible play calling. It's all influenced by Zim. It's regardless of who the OC is and who's calling the plays, it's his philosophy. He wants to play conservative style. It's going to lead to losses. If you look at the Vikings Instagram, the social media, every single comment on there is fire Zim, which never happens after a win. You don't see someone calling for a, a thrilling, really an exciting win to fire the coach that's winning. But you do in this case. The Vikings are playing well under what they should be. They're underwhelming. They're punching below their weight, whatever you want to say. They're not doing good. That being said, we got a kicker, boys. We finally got a kicker. Greg Joseph out here. Yes, he missed that 37-yarder. Should have made it. No excuse for that. But he's booming 55 yarders, 54-yarder for the game winner. It's nice to know that we shook the yips. Talk to me in 2 weeks when he misses another game winner, though, because that's how Vikings are. But for now, Minnesota Vikings, they have a kicker. I think it's safe to say that that issue is resolved. Let's hope the offense can get back to 30 points a game.
Yeah, I would definitely agree there with you. You really don't see coaches get fired after a win, but I did watch that game yesterday, and although the defensive line was very stout, Danielle Hunter, Everson Griffin, were definitely just living in the backfield. It was just kind of like, okay, the offense would get on the field. Hey, let's throw here. All right, 3 and out. It just seemed like it's kind of being held back, and I feel like it's really because of the coaches. But going into your kicker, yeah, he's definitely got a leg. I saw from the first game of the season, He's definitely got a boot on him, but hey, we'll see. We know Vikings and their kickers don't necessarily always end very well. But hey, talking about kickers, let's go into the Bengals and Packers game. Now, again, as we mentioned beginning of the show, um, for those of you who are wondering, we talked about Joe Burrow playing this week, week 6 coming up. So you're probably thinking, obviously, the Packers won. No, Joe Burrow left and came back and went toe to toe with the great Aaron Rodgers. Jake, let the people know how exciting it was to see Mr. Burrow um, give Rodgers a run for his money.
I mean, it's not just this game; it's all season long. Burrow has been. Everyone was saying, be cautious. This offensive line isn't going to be anything crazy. Joe Burrow might still get hurt. You need to protect him. Who knows what that defense can do? But just looking at Joe Burrow's stats right now, he's it's crazy what he's doing. Like he's throwing for over 200 yards, except week 3 versus Pittsburgh, but he still pulled that out. Um, he's cut down the turnovers, but against Green Bay, he went 26 for 38, 281, 2 touchdowns. Like he's playing some tough defenses and he's coming out on top, knowing that he doesn't have an O line. He has to be quick with the ball. He has to make his decisions very quickly. And to do what he did against the Packers, tough game. It's not on him. If your kicker's not going to make these kicks, man, you can only do so much. If your coach is saying, just get me in field goal range, he did that multiple times. So I love what I'm seeing for Joe Burrow and him and Jamar Chase. That connection is unreal right now.
Yeah,
Hey,
definitely. Sir drops a
does
lot.
anybody believe in the Packers? Since we're on the subject, 4-1. Does anyone believe in them?
I really don't.
I I think that
No,
I think they're the worst 4-1 team. I think they're frauds. They're pretenders. They're barely beating teams that
Yeah.
are should be under them.
oh,
Tr-
100%.
Trounced by the Saints. I think they're skating through these teams and they're pretenders.
Do
Yeah.
they have a tougher schedule going forward?
We'll have
They've
to.
got they've got Washington coming up, Carolina, the Cardinals. I mean, Chiefs, Seahawks, Vikings, Rams. So they do have a stretch.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Chiefs, Seahawks, Vikings, Rams. So
Those games will be telling.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've got 2 easy
Especially
games and then a 5-game stretch that should let you know if they're pretenders or not.
Yeah.
yeah, especially the Cardinals game. That's on a short week on a Thursday nighter, so we'll
And
definitely be able
hey,
to see
Kyler
those.
Murray he's playing like MVP right now.
Except for on Sunday, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, to kind of go with what you were talking about, Jake. It sucks for Evan McPherson because it's not like he's not been put in a situation before where he's had to hit, game-winning field goals. So, and if for those of you who kind of watched the game or saw the highlight, he celebrated prematurely. Obviously, he thought he hit it, but he didn't. um, and obviously, Mason Crosby missed his to win it the first round to go, and he didn't. So he got his second chance at life, or was it third chance at life again? But definitely, it's good and exciting to see Joe Burrow. And that offense just continue each week, each year, kind of transform into being what we feel it can be. But we're going to go into the topic, what you guys are really here for. What's going on with the Chiefs? Before this year started, Jake had him going undefeated. Obviously, he just gave us his overreaction, statement on where he feels they're going to end up and whatnot. But man, I just feel like there's something going on here that it shouldn't be this difficult for them. Now, it's kind of hard for me to believe that the defense is just so bad. Now, I understand last couple years it wasn't elite, but it wasn't this bad. PJ, what is really going on with the Chiefs right now? Are they in trouble?
Yeah, yeah, they're dead. Yeah, their defense is horrendous. They're the fifth worst defense in points allowed. They're getting scored on in bunches. They're getting boomed. Which is fine if you can score 40. They can't score 40. At least not right now. They did put in a lot of time and attention this offseason to fixing their O line. They were tired of getting Mahomes beat up. Maybe they should have paid a little bit more attention to the defensive backfield, to their pass rush a little bit. Get some guys who can get some pressure, who can force turnovers, who can stop teams from marching up and down the field on them. That being said, it is surprising that they're not dropping 40 and being able to keep up with teams anymore. That's the real question. Are teams starting to figure out Mahomes Hill, Mahomes Kelsey? Is that what we're seeing? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'll kind of give my thoughts here. I agree that although it was great that they got Mahomes some help on the offensive line, traded Orlando Brown, Thuney brought Mr. Long out of retirement. It was great. I also do feel like they've invested so much into the offense that yes, defense has just fallen. Um, Granted, you would know as a Vikings fan. I mean, Breland is okay, serviceable. I felt like they just didn't really do anything outside of that as
Breland
far
is
as
not good. Let me interrupt you there. Breland is not good. He's not serviceable. He's not okay. He might honestly be the worst cornerback I've ever seen in my entire life, and I hope he gets cut.
I can see it. I can see it. I thought he was at least serviceable.
He's not good. He's been burnt by everyone. I think he's like bottom two PFF graded cornerbacks. He's not a good cornerback.
Sheesh. BA still on the team. He must be the Zimmer guy. But yeah, I just don't understand what's going on there. I feel bad for guys like the Honey Badger and the offense. Something's got to change. I don't now. Jake, we'll get into this. I don't know necessarily if I can put Andy Reid on the hot seat just because of what he's accomplished, but just in these 2 last years. Obviously, you got the Super Bowl, but it is very worrisome. Somebody's got to go. Either it's the defensive coordinator, somebody has got to go. But Jake, what are your thoughts on what's going on with the Chiefs?
So I completely get what you're saying about Andy Reid. But if you're going to praise a coach for when he does well, you have to call him out when things go bad. That's what the head coach is there for. If everything goes right, he's going to get the praise. So if something's wrong, you have to go to him first. What's the issue? What's going on? I got some numbers here for you. Um, so as of right now, the Chiefs are 32nd in points for. That means the points that they're allowing. They are ranked 32nd, ranked dead last in the NFL. The least amount of yards they have let up in a game was 352 passing yards. Or no, total yards, excuse me. And they only have 4 turnovers as a defense. They haven't had any in the last 3 games. So it is to the point where you're asking Mahomes not only to win you a game, but to try to score more than 30 points, which is really tough because a lot of these defenses are getting younger, faster, and they're reading Mahomes. It's like PJ said, if you're able to lock down Hill, the only guy you're worried about is Kelsey, and Kelsey's not going to beat you with a bomb. If you can try to keep somewhat of, you have good safeties, like if you're the Chargers, you have Derwin James. You can put Derwin James and Kenneth Murray on Kelsey and just have Asante Samuel and Adderley just guarding Hill over the top. And then who else? Who does Mahomes have? Who's he throwing to? Nobody.
Ringo.
If you cut off Hill, I'd rather have Kelsey try to beat me because he's not gonna get me for a bomb. So you're telling Mahomes when defenses are figuring this out, oh, also you need to put up 30 plus points because the defense is gonna let 30 or more. So that's an issue because Mahomes can't do it all, and we saw that especially in the Super Bowl, and we're seeing it now.
Yeah, definitely. Chiefs fans, Chiefs Kingdom. We know you don't really want to hear this.
I still think they make it though. I still think they grab a wild card spot.
It's a big
AFC,
shocker to
AFC's
us.
pretty weak. The AFC's pretty weak.
Yeah.
I think they still grab a wild card spot. We got to see.
Yeah, I can too because I do feel like they can regroup. Um, I have to see who they play this week.
They play
Washington.
Washington and then
Which
Tennessee, then New York. So those are 3
those are
games they
three.
should
Okay,
get.
yeah,
but then it's Packers, Raiders, Cowboys, and then bye week.
So I mean, those are really
Those are all easy. Yeah, those
all
are all
easy.
easy.
I
I
mean, yeah, I
mean,
think
Raiders,
Packers are not
Raiders and
that great.
Cowboys.
Packer
I mean, Raiders
Packers
just
are
lost a head coach. You don't
yeah.
really know how it's going to
Packers aren't
end.
that great. Raiders are up in the air.
Cowboys, I can give you because they can run the ball and just keep them on the sideline.
And then they close out Denver, Raiders, Chargers, Pittsburgh, Bengals, Broncos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They have a favorable
yeah, they bounce back.
schedule
They're
going up.
yeah,
they're fine.
But I mean, they also let Philly put up 30 on them.
They're fine.
yeah.
So we'll see.
I do think the defense will continue to fault them, but I think the offense will be fine. I think it'll bounce back. But as we move on now to some fantasy football talk, hey, if you're looking at this Monday night game and you're banking on Mr. Lamar Jackson to win you this game, you're not doing too hot. But if you're looking for Mr. Jonathan Taylor to help you out, hey, he started off hot, but for some reason they forget he's on the team. But hey, we're going to get into some fantasy winners and some fantasy losers for this week. I'm going to start this week. Fantasy winner for me. Now, this guy isn't on my team per se. He's actually on Jake's team. But I've been a big fan of Mike Williams, and I'm so happy that he is finally stepping into the receiver he was drafted to be.
Totally agree.
Just, man, the guy coming out of Clemson was just, he was oozing with so much talent, and I'm just so happy. You know, for a while he had the injury bug, he was, injury riddled, but to be finally putting it all together, and it's good for a guy like Keenan Allen, even for Herbert, to have them give another weapon. But my big fantasy winner for this week has got to be Mike Williams. Going off is not even the word. My man just, I don't know, man. That guy went nuts against the Browns. It was crazy.
Shoot, I loved it.
Contract year, man.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a deal somewhere.
Yeah, he's trying to get paid, whether it's back with the Chargers. We'll see. Obviously, I don't see why not. But PJ, give us a fantasy winner for you this week.
This one goes back to the memes. I'm gonna go with Kadarius Toney, the receiver
Dude was swinging.
in New York. So yeah, going back to week 2, he had one catch for -2 yards. So there were memes out there like even you regular people, you have more receiving yards than Kadarius Toney has in the NFL. So they were
It was
absolutely
so
eating my
bad.
guy alive.
It was so bad.
But he stepped up.
He
Last
did.
week he stepped up in a big way. Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton are out. Him and Kenny Galladay ate last week. This week, Kenny Galladay also goes out. It's pretty much Saquon goes out, who's a receiving back. It's pretty much Kadarius Toney's show now, and he absolutely stepped up. The um, Cowboys defense, like we talked about, is well improved. Diggs is no slouch, man, and he showed out. He showed out with all the attention on him. 10 catches for a $189 on 13 targets. That's a big day for anybody, much less, a rookie who struggled. Great seeing him stepping up to the plate. Obviously, he's already been in New York too long. Maybe he went to hang out in the Bronx because this Joker's swinging at
He's
people
already swinging.
he's swinging at people with a helmet on. He's not. I mean, I guess the Giants do play in New Jersey. People in Jersey like to fight, so who knows? But yeah, hopefully he doesn't get a suspension out of it. He can keep it rolling.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say this real quick before we go into Jake. As a Gators fan, I got to watch the human joystick quite a bit. I get the frustration going into the season as to why he wasn't on the field. I mean, the receiving core at that time was pretty good. Slayton, I'm not even gonna say pretty good, was stacked. Slayton, Shepard, Galladay. I mean, unless one of them got hurt, which obviously we've seen, it was kind of hard for him
And
to kind of
Shepard
crack
came
it.
out the gates. Shepard came out starting the season
Oh yeah,
on
Yeah.
fire.
On fire. So it was kind of, and that's kind of the position, Tony was playing that slot role. So, but we do see he is electric with the ball in his hand. Jake, give us your winner for this week.
My winner is also on my team, but it's not just that he had a great week. He's having a great season. And the reason why I want to bring him up is because maybe not in our group, but I know a lot of people that play fantasy when you hear on, TV and just news, this guy doesn't get that much respect for where he deserves to be, and that's Austin Eckler. He's very small. He was undrafted. He wasn't a big name, and when he came in, Melvin Gordon was the number one back in San Diego for the Chargers. So he's finally, last season was supposed to be the year that he took that huge step. Then he got hurt. Years before, it was, he was Philip Rivers, check down guy. Never did anything crazy explosive, but you saw the potential there. And this year, he's just going insane. He's had 2 straight weeks of about 29, 30 points. He scored 3 touchdowns yesterday, all in the fourth quarter. So if you want to talk about clutch, you want to talk about someone that put the team on his back, obviously Justin Herbert leads it. Without Justin Herbert, he doesn't get the passes, he doesn't get that ability to run it in. But to have 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter in a game that was just consistently back and forth, I got to give it to my guy Austin Eckler.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Hey, you guys let us know who won it for you this week. Maybe somebody not on your team that you just appreciated like I did. Or
You could put my whole entire lineup if you
this
want to.
guy breaks
About
200 and he doesn't know how to act right now. Please excuse.
shoot, I was up 110 going into Monday Night Football. That's crazy.
This guy. Anyways, where there are winners, there are also losers.
Joe.
Jake, give us a oh goodness, Joe, if you're watching. Jake, give us a loser for this week.
Yeah, there's quite a few. But I'll go ahead and you can easily say, Barkley because the injury, but I'm gonna go with some people that just, you expect them to perform week in, week out. Or maybe this guy's name. For us, we know that Joe Mixon isn't gonna be a guy that's gonna win you a league. But for some reason, Joe Mixon's ADP is always second round. That's where he's supposed to go. But again, Joe Mixon showed, at least us in our group, we know Joe Mixon's not the guy. But a lot of people depended on Joe Mixon, especially when they was told, he's going to be questionable. And then they're like, nope, he's going to be good to go. Expect to play him. This might be the game where, he gets a lot of touches. It's versus Green Bay. They're not really good against the run. Burrow's going to need some guy to throw to. And what did he get you? 10 points? If you're in PPR league? If you're in a standard league, you got 3. It's not good. So I'm just Mixon is the guy that's gonna take that L for me this week.
Yeah, a guy who I'm going to choose as my fantasy loser is a guy who is on my team, Adam Thielen. It
Hmm.
it sucks because man, he started off so well. Even
Just
had
talk,
some
talk
talks
with
with.
respect. Just talk with
No,
respect.
I am. I'm not going to
Just
dish
talk
him
with
because
respect.
he has been actually really good for me. He was the guy to look for Kirk in the red zone, and he definitely paid dividends with that. But he has since come back down to earth these last 2 games. I was hoping with it being an easy matchup against the Lions, he could at least get double digits for me. Very disappointing this week. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a little tougher next week against the Panthers. I mean, obviously Stephon Gilmore is not playing, but it is, the secondary is pretty good in its own right. So we'll see. I have a decision to make whether to play him or to let Brandon Cooks play. So we'll see. But that's my loser for this week.
Yeah, it's definitely not 100% on Thielen though.
No, I don't
He
think so either because I
he is
watched
get
the
yeah
game. Yeah, he
he is
was.
getting a little bit up there, but he's not getting the targets. Kirk is down to throwing 17, 18, 20 passes a game. 10 of those targets are going to Jefferson. You know, 4 or 5 are going out of the backfield. It's not Thielen. It's a consequence of the game plan. My loser for this week is Mike Davis. Mike Davis has been a loser all season. Uh, he, of course, backed up CMC last year in Carolina. Great handcuff to have. When CMC went down, he picked up and he was scoring the 20 points a game like no problem. So of course, when he signed to Atlanta, it seemed like a good sleeper pick. And really underrated pick to grab. He's trash, man. He looks like he's running through maple syrup. This guy looks slow. He can't pick his legs up. He's currently losing snaps and being outperformed by Cordero Patterson, who's a 30-year-old wide receiver.
Yes.
If you're a career-long running back, you've been playing running back since Pee Wee League, you've been playing running back for 25 years, and you're getting outs and you're getting just absolutely booted out of your job by a converted wide receiver, you got to be a loser. You're
Yeah.
losing your job to someone who doesn't even have that job. You got to be a loser.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I do like you though, Mike Davis. Send me a jersey.
It's like I don't think he was this bad when he was coming in for CMC last year. I
He
don't know.
wasn't. He
I feel
wasn't.
like
He
it's
was
maybe
solid.
the scheme. I don't know. We'll see. But it is a little worrisome. I can definitely see how he's a loser. Um, Now going into some waiver wire pickups for you guys. Obviously, on this Wednesday morning, you're checking your phones to see if that claim you put in went through. Um, Obviously, if you're a bottom feeder in your league, you're kind of living with the waiver wire pickups. So a couple guys we have here. Darrell Williams of the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously with the injury to CEH. Darrell Williams would now be the guy. As we mentioned, the boxer of the team, Kadarius Toney. Devontae Booker now with CMC. Barkley out. And in other leagues, hey, if you're looking for um, a receiver, Marquez Callaway is out there. A little head scratcher. We all kind of thought he'd take that next step with Winston. He shows flashes like he did this week. So if you can,
His Hail Mary catch in the end zone over five guys was an underrated catch.
yeah, it's
Very
crazy.
underrated catch.
So if you're in need of some depth, maybe, or maybe if you're in need of a plug and play guy, hey, try Marquez out. Also, too, Amon Ross St. Brown of the Lions is somebody who you can look to pick up as well for this upcoming week. Anybody else you guys feel is worthy of a waiver wire pickup?
Yeah, they didn't perform well this week. Uh, the combo of Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault in Jacksonville, but I still think they're worth a stash on your bench for now. They've got a soft schedule coming out. They play the Dolphins. I think fourth or fifth worst defense so far. They're getting boomed by everyone. Uh, Chark is out. You could see one of those guys step up here in a big way.
Yeah, definitely. So now we are going to give you our start and sit for this week 6 of football. We're going to start there with PJ with the quarterbacks. PJ, give us two guys worthy of starting for this week.
Yeah, pretty pretty easy. The guys I'm gonna say here, you're probably already starting them. I'm gonna give you uh one easy, one surefire pick, and I'm gonna give you one a little bit more risky, but I think could work out. Start of the week for me is Josh Allen. Obviously, you're not benching Josh Allen, but he's playing the Titans. We've talked about it before. Titans fielding one of the worst defenses we've seen all season, on par with the Chiefs defense. He's gonna absolutely light those guys up. Um, he also rushes. He'll pick up some rushing yards there. Definitely my start of the week. My sleeper pick of the week as a start. Again, going back to that Dolphins game, it's got to be Trevor Lawrence this week. He's not playing. He's playing at home. The Dolphins. It's a battle for Florida. He's tired of losing. He's 0-5, first five losses of his career. Dolphins come in. This is a softer game. He finally gets an easy game, I'll say. I think this is the time that he lights him up. Again, they got the fourth worst defense. He showed 2 weeks ago too. He's not afraid to use his legs. I think he had like 40 or 50 yards on the ground with a rushing score. We could see him do the same. I'm gonna I'm gonna have him dropping 30 points and coming away with the win here.
And now going into the running back position, Jake, give us 2 starts for this week.
So I'm gonna pick Daryl Henderson is one start. Going up against the Giants. Uh, the Giants are hurting right now. Maybe not as much on defense as they are on offense, but that's not a team that you should be scared about with anybody that you have. So I'm gonna say Daryl Henderson should have a really good game, if not his best game of the year. And then one other guy I'm gonna go for is Chase Edmonds. He comes back this week, should be able to come back this week, and I think he's gonna have a very good game. So those are a couple guys that I would start.
Yeah, and going into the receivers for this week, not because he's on my team, but I'm gonna take Scary Terry against the Chiefs. Chiefs absolutely cannot stop anything in their way. I expect Terry with his target share to have a pretty big day. And then I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs. Again, another offense or defense that can't stop anything. I expect Diggs to absolutely torch them. And now moving on into the tight ends for this week. PJ, who we got?
Hey, looks like we're all picking Bills here. Diggs, Josh Allen. So I'm sticking with Dawson Knox. Of course, his production has been next level. But again, he's playing that soft game of the Titans. I'm gonna have him uh, um, for sure as my sleeper, as my big start, and then sleeper pick. Grab one of the Seahawks tight ends. Geno Smith getting the start. He might not be looking to stretch the field. Who knows if he can hit deep passes, but he might be looking for safe looks. Take a look at Will Disley. He's probably available if you're desperate.
Yeah, I like that there, especially if you're in need of some tight end help. Now moving into the defense starts for this week. I'm going to go with Indianapolis against the Texans. Obviously, still starting a rookie quarterback. Um, O-line there is pretty bad. Look for Indy to rack up on some sacks and maybe come away with the pick. Obviously, start of the week for me has got to be the Rams against the hurt Giants. Man, I don't know what team is about to come out, but it's about to be ugly for them going up against that Rams defense. And to leave it off with kickers are people too. Jake, give us some starts for this week for kickers.
For kickers, I'm gonna go Justin Tucker. He's someone you always have to play. He's almost a flex option most of the time. Excuse me, I just got just something hilarious came up.
Are you
But
good, man? You
yeah, I'm
like
good. I'm
Justin Tucker
good.
that
Yeah, man,
much, huh?
come
I do. I
on.
love Justin
Tucker
Tucker
makes
that
you happy.
much.
I got you.
Yes, he
Same, he's
makes
on
me
my team.
happy. No, but I'm gonna pick him because he's always like a flex option almost. And then probably gonna go with Matt Gay again against the Giants. The Rams are either going to put up tons of points or they're just going to kick field goals because Matt Stafford's going to sit going into halftime because they're up so much. So those are the two kickers I'd start.
And where there are starts, there are sits. PJ, hit us with some sits for this week for the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm sitting Kirk Cousins this week. Panthers have a great defense. They're number 3 in points allowed, so he's got a tough start. He's traveling cross country to Carolina, and it's clear that Zim wants to run first. Team might not be many attempts for him again. Hopefully he turns around. I'm wrong, but it's hard to trust Kirk this week. I'm also sitting Stafford. That's surprising, but yeah, I think this is a blowout versus the Giants, and I think it's a blowout
I
quick,
get that.
like Jake said.
I
I
get
think
that.
he I think he drops 2, maybe 3 touchdowns, 250 yards, and they're running Michelle and Henderson.
Yeah. PJ, Jake, hit us with some sits for this week in the running back group. You're muted.
Sorry about that. For sits, I don't like. People are going to call me crazy, but I don't like Derrick Henry going against Buffalo. I Buffalo's defense is legit. I'm not saying Henry's going to be a bust, but I wouldn't expect 30 points from Henry this week. If you get 15 to about 18, that's probably because Buffalo did a good job in controlling Derrick Henry. And then the other one would be CMC. Only reason is he's coming off an injury. Um, Now, if he's fine, he works out good, then it's a great matchup. But I would just be really careful because I know Minnesota's also fighting for a win because I know they feel they can take this division. So it's going to be a tough game for them.
Yeah, receivers that I have, I'll only give you one. I had Kenny Galladay, but that was before news broke he wasn't going to play. Um, Unfortunately, I got to say Adam Thielen, man. It's right now it's looking like the Justin Jefferson show. He's just kind of getting all the targets and whatnot, and it is a very tough Panthers defense. So I'm gonna go sit there with Adam Thielen against the Panthers. Tight ends, PJ, who do you got for us?
Yeah. Again, going back to that um, idea uh, of blowouts and then pulling your starters. Tyler Higbee on the Rams. He's very big play dependent. He's very touchdown dependent. He salvaged his week this week with one touchdown reception. Outside of that, not many targets. There's too many weapons to go around. In a big blowout like this, even less targets if you're running. So I'm gonna sit Tyler Higbee. Of course, Rob Gronkowski with the broken ribs. His backup Cameron Braid is in there. Had plenty of opportunity this week to show something. He did it. Not not really trusting anyone in a Bucks uniform outside of Gronkowski.
Yeah, and some defenses that I have for sit this week. Washington against the Chiefs. Not only because Washington has just been bad, which is a shocker. We all thought they'd be a top defense. I really think this is about to be a revenge game for the Chiefs in that offense. So we'll see. Obviously, I'm hoping for a shootout. Let's get Scary Terry some points. My other one is going to be the Titans defense against the Bills. I just can't reiterate this enough. You're bad. I mean, you lost to the Jets, so it's bad. But those are my sits for this week on the defensive end. Jake, what about some kickers that you have that you should not sit or should sit this week? Sorry.
Yeah, for kickers, I'm gonna go ahead. It's pretty quick, easy to the point. I'm not starting Mason Crosby after the week he had. You kind of want to stay away from that. And then I'm not liking really what's coming out of Daniel Carlson. He started hot and just has, dwindled down lately. So I'd be really cautious with him. And I'm a Daniel Carlson owner. So uh, that's two kickers that I'd be cautious with this week.
And there you have it, people. Some starts and sits for this week. Hey, maybe if we've helped you with your fantasy game this week, hey, show us some love. Let us know if the advice we gave you helped. We'll look to put these on our story so that way you guys can see those also as a post. Um, but now that'll be it for our NFL. We're going to move into some other sports. Baseball, playoff baseball is well underway at this time.
Is it?
It is.
Wow, I didn't know people were watching.
Yeah, I've
Baseball
actually
stuff.
watched a couple as a Dodgers fan. Just to kind of touch bases on what's
Like on
going on.
purpose, or were you bored? Like,
No, I
was there
actually
nothing
watched
else
it. I
on?
actually like watching playoff baseball. When the games are meaningful and there's a big purpose, it's actually very exciting. Watching a game in beginning of June at 12 o'clock, I can't do. I'm sorry, Jake.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
Would you rather watch baseball or jump off a bridge? Like which one? I know it's close.
Disrespect
Okay,
is
now
so real right now.
when am I watching it? Am I watching baseball?
Tuesday,
Is it the
3:06
playoffs?
p.m. June 15th.
Yeah, I jump off the bridge.
There we go.
Yeah.
All
There we
right,
go.
all right, all
There we
right.
go. No
There's
Yeah, I'm gonna
no
jump off the bridge.
no
But
sports
no
kicker makes you feel that way.
just to give you
no
guys
need
a
for that.
little bit of what's going on, the Boston Red Sox just beat the Tampa Bay Rays 6-5. They lead that series 3-1. The
Losers.
Astros are up 2-1 over the White Sox. That game was postponed due to bad weather. Um, the Braves are up 2-1 against the Brewers. The Giants and Dodgers series are tied. I think that covers pretty much all the games going on right now. We'll keep you guys posted as those go on. In other sports, hey, if you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, you might want to stop listening now. You got upset this week to Texas A&M in Aggie land. What a big shocker that was. Um, Also, I'm sure there's a lot of anti-Alabama fans super happy. Obviously, if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, you're also super happy because now you're the number one team in the nation. So, some big upsets. Will continue to um, keep that going with college football as the season goes on throughout the year. NBA season is about to kick off. Kind of seems like it was just yesterday. We were just talking NBA. Maybe it's because when we started this podcast, it was playoffs were well in full swing. Um, just very quickly, anything you guys are looking forward to with this upcoming NBA season?
Yes, I can't
Playoffs.
wait to see the Lakers fight. I can't wait to see Russ absolutely melt down that locker room. They asked this Joker, "Why do you turn the ball over so much?" He said, "It's preseason and doesn't count. I'll turn that junk over 15 more times if I have to." I can't wait to see him do something crazy, and LeBron look him in the face like, "Boy, what are you doing?" I'm looking forward to that dynamic. It should be fun.
I can't wait to see Kyrie try to apply for unemployment because he's only working part time. He's gonna try to be like, "Hey, yo, can I get unemployment? I'm only working part time. Can this
Yeah,
happen?"
it's crazy, man. The NBA times are here. It's crazy. But hey, we're excited. Definitely will kind of watch some games here and there. Obviously, a long season and whatnot. So we'll see what happens. Keep you guys informed too. But now moving into your favorite and our favorite, the hype. Jake, tell the people something you're hyped for this week, man.
For this week, I'm actually hype about just not really work because work is getting really bad, but football season. It's getting tight now, especially fantasy. We got the bye weeks that actually start now, so it comes a lot more preparation, being cautious. Now you have to figure out who you're starting, who you're not, who you're sitting. So this is the time that it gets really exciting about that.
PJ, what about you, man? What is something you're hyped for?
Yeah, so it happened today. I was working, I was helping a buddy out with some construction. He had a laser level, one of those real accurate ones to tell you measurements. And he measured me, and I was 5'6.5". I was shocked at first. Yeah, just like all your faces. Then I realized I was wearing my construction boots, my steel
Okay,
toe
there
construction
we go.
boots.
I was about to say.
That gave me an extra 2 inches. But I'm really hyped now because now I know how to be taller. So the lesson is I'm going everywhere now in steel toe construction boots. No matter where I'm going, uh, any place I'm playing basketball, I'm hooping. Steel toe construction shoes. I'm 5'6" now. I'm 5'6" and a
As
half.
he
I'm telling everybody.
as he's taking your shins out, man.
Twisting my
Goodness gracious.
Rolling my ankles in these caterpillar steel toe 50-pound shoes. But I'm 5'6", baby. Let's get it.
Goodness. Something that I'm hyped for, just hyped for football, man. It's pretty good season going on so far. So many question marks, so many shocking surprises. Definitely, if you're well into your fantasy football season, hey, if you're doing well, congrats. If you're doing bad, like some people in our league who are over 5, hey, it's gonna be a tough one, buddy. But hey, stay in there.
Who is
Listen
it?
to
Who is
some
it?
Jordan.
Jordan, because Ben
Listen to
already
some
won.
regular guys podcasts to keep you through the year, and we'll keep you making sure that at least you have some fun during this season. But that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're so happy to be back on this Wednesday morning. Hey, tell a friend about us, share it to your mom, share it to your dad, anybody who wants to hear a sports podcast, let them know about Regular Guys Podcast. We'll be coming back to you guys every other week going forward. So you'll definitely be able to see us, our shiny faces going forward. We'll try our best to be pretty active on the page, also trying to grow that, trying to grow this thing, our listeners. But we thank you guys so much. PJ, any closing words?
Again, thank you for joining us. We're all inclusive. We don't send emails like John Gruden, so everyone's welcome here. We're glad to
Oh,
see you.
no.
We'll see you soon. See you in 2 weeks. Nice show coming up. Stay safe, everybody.
And Jake, tell the people your closing words, man, in the outro.
Yeah, man, we're super excited to be back, and we can't wait for you guys to see this. But if you're watching this, I want you guys to comment down below on either YouTube or Instagram. I get to change PJ's name this week in fantasy football because your boy got the lowest score. So comment down some names, give me some suggestions. Like he
A
just said,
third of my team died.
he's not 5'6", he's 5'3". So if you want to do something like that, just let me know. His record's 3-2, so kind of matches the height. I don't know,
This
whatever you guys want to
is
do, just bring
disrespectful.
it.
I'm not 5'3".
So, but no, in all seriousness, guys,
Mr.
thank you so
Jake.
much. We appreciate it. And thank you. Peace.
Regular Guys Podcast.